Welcome to Learn About Law. My name is Kevin O'Flaherty from O'Flaherty Law, and today we're going to answer the question, what happens if a will or a trust is ambiguous in Illinois? A will or a trust is ambiguous if its language is not clear as to the intent of the creator at the time it was executed, and if that ambiguity leads to different results based on different interpretations. The rules for an ambiguous will or trust are the same, so we're going to talk about both interchangeably. If language in a will or trust is ambiguous, any party that is affected by the ambiguity can file something called a construction action. A construction action is a lawsuit where the court interprets the will or trust in order to determine the creator's intent at the time that the will or trust was executed. In a construction action, there will be a hearing at which, if there is a true ambiguity, the parties that are in dispute over what the will or trust means can introduce extrinsic evidence to show what the creator's intent was. And extrinsic evidence means evidence other than the plain language of the document. So something outside of the four corners of the document is extrinsic evidence. You can only introduce extrinsic evidence if there is genuinely ambiguous language in the document that can be interpreted by reasonable people multiple ways. You can't introduce it just because you disagree with what the document says. You can't say, well, this is not what the creator intended, even though that's what the language says. It's only if there's ambiguous language that you can introduce extrinsic evidence. So it's a trial where both sides can introduce really any sort of evidence to shed light on what the creator intended. Some examples are the relationship of the creator to relevant parties. Was the creator estranged from someone who is trying to inherit? The state of the assets at the time of execution. So if there's ambiguity about what the creator intended to leave to whom, you can look at basically the financial situation of the creator at the time that the will or trust was executed. But again, there has to be a legitimate ambiguity in order for the parties to introduce extrinsic evidence. There's no distinction between patent and latent ambiguities. This is a long time ago. Courts did make a distinction between a patent ambiguity, which was basically the text itself was ambiguous, versus a latent ambiguity, meaning that although the text itself is not ambiguous, there's an ambiguity that arises from the effect of the text. Now courts don't make that distinction. If there's an ambiguity as to what the creator intended, regardless of whether it's patent or latent, you can introduce extrinsic evidence. But what if the extrinsic evidence is not enough to determine the creator's intent? Well, at that point, then the courts apply rules of construction. Rules of construction are rules that are set by case law precedent for how, in the absence of any evidence as to what the creator intended, courts are supposed to interpret certain types of language. So they're basically presumptions about what a reasonable person, an ordinary normal person, would intend based on particular types of ambiguities. And we have a different article and video at learn-about-law.com that goes over all of the rules of construction and how courts, what rules courts follow in interpreting an ambiguous will or trust when there's no evidence as to what the creator actually intended. But the bottom line is that courts are looking to find out the actual intent of the creator if they can. If they can't, they will look to the intent of what an ordinary person in that situation would have intended through these rules of construction. So if you have any questions, you can leave them in the comments section below this post at learn-about-law.com or below the video on our YouTube station. If you need some help, please give us a call at 630-324-6666. That's 630-324-6666. We offer free consultations in many areas of law, and we have several geographic locations for your convenience. If you found this helpful, we'd love it if you'd subscribe to us on YouTube, SoundCloud, Apple Podcasts, or wherever you listen to your podcasts or watch your videos.
Thanks so much for watching our video. If you have any questions, feel free to comment below. Click the subscribe button for new videos every week, and download and review us on iTunes. Visit learn-about-law.com for other legal-related articles and videos. Visit our business podcast and video blog, seizeyourbusiness.com. Call us at 630-324-6666 for a free consultation.